Okay, so we're at the WGN studios right now, and we're just getting ready to go on air in a few minutes. But I just wanted to give you a quick preview of what we're going to talk about with the anchors today. And today the topic is sprouts and making your own sprouts at home. And it's so easy to do. I've been experimenting with it and having not only great fun, but also enjoying the flavors and the tastes of what we're growing. So it's really cool and easy to do as well. So there's really two kinds of sprouts you can do. You can do kind of what we call microgreens. And then there's also sprouts, which you probably are more used to seeing in the grocery store, like alfalfa sprouts, that kind of thing. But the first thing we'll talk about is microgreens, because microgreens are something that you grow in a pot with some soil, and those you let get green. You need a bright light situation to actually do this. So you can do it on a windowsill at home. If you have a greenhouse, even better. But if you don't, you can do sprouts, and that we'll talk about in just a minute. So the microgreens are just getting seeds and germinating them on some soil, letting them grow green, and then cutting them really early and enjoying them on your salad or just snacking on them. And they're really good. These are brown mustard, and they'll have like kind of a peppery flavor, kind of a mustardy flavor. They're really good and intense. And the flavors are really strong because it's all packed into that seed that has enzymes and nutrients and vitamins that are really good for you. You can also do wheatgrass. If you buy wheatgrass at home to do for juicing, you can grow your own. They're really easy to do. Why not do it at home? Some other things that are great for microgreens are mesclun mix, which is a kind of lettuce mix. Really flavorful. Not quite as peppery as the mustard. You can also do rocket, chicory, and some fenugreek as well. So the next type of sprouting you can do is actual what we consider sprouts, or what you think of in the grocery store as alfalfa sprouts, or even bean sprouts. You can do those as well. And the beans, or finding the seeds, is really the trick. But there's lots of places you can get them. Not only go online to find them, but you can get them at the health food store. You can get little packets of them ready for sprouting. Alfalfa sprouts, you can get bigger bags of them, larger quantities if you buy them online. But even at the grocery store, if you get something like lentils or some chickpeas, those are just the kind of beans you use to cook, but they're also good for sprouting. And of course now at this time of the year, it is January already, they've already got seeds packets out in the do-it-yourself stores. So Lowe's and Home Depot already have packets of seeds that you can use for sprouting and eating. This is even easier than doing sprouts or the microgreens in soil, because you're only using a mason jar and some water, and of course the seeds. Now one trick is to really drain the seeds really, really well. And so to do that, what I've done is I've taken the dome lid out of the mason jar, and I've just created a screen disc out of porch screen. Really easy to cut with even just regular scissors. And then that you can insert into the top of the lid, and that becomes your drain. So simply take the seeds, and again, we're going to use 2 tablespoons for this mason jar. Okay, and now in order to convince these seeds to start to germinate or to sprout, we need to add water and let them soak for a bit. So I'll add more water than you really think you need. Really give it a good soak. Fill up that mason jar. And then put on your screen lid. Now, I find it really useful if you're doing lots of them to mark them. And I just use painter's tape or marking tape it's low tack, so it won't stick to the glass. You can mark it and then you can remove it when you're done. Really good, but if you've got a lot going, it's easy to keep track of them if you mark them and put a date on them. Now, these seeds I'm going to let soak overnight. I usually will do it in the evening so I can let them soak overnight. But if you don't have overnight to wait, you have to make sure you give them at least 4 or 5 hours of soaking to really get them started. So now assume that these seeds have been soaking overnight. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to drain them. And you can see how useful the screen is. And now they're wet seeds, and they should be plumper than they are right now because these haven't actually been sitting for long enough. Then you will rinse them twice a day with cold, fresh water. So rinsing them is a really important part of the process so that they don't go moldy and they aren't sitting in stagnant water. Also make sure that you drain them really freely. So tip them over and let all the water drain out. And then I find that if you just knock them flat in the jar and set them on the side, and they can sit there all day and work away, start sprouting until the evening, and then you'll rinse them through again, and you can continue that process for about 3 days. On the third day, you'll notice that they're really getting full. Lots of white roots, and you can also start to see some of the leaves coming. They're cotyledons, actually, is what they're called, are starting to come out and start to look a little bit yellow. The ones you see in the grocery store are usually pretty green, so in order to green them up on that final day, put them in the sunshine, and if you give them 1 day of bright light, not direct sun, but bright light, you'll see how green they can get. And these are now ready for eating. Look at how dense they are. They're just loaded. Great for sandwiches and great for snacking. Really good, really fresh. Easy to do. Try them at home.